Hang on a second. All right, that's better.
Good morning. I am standing on the edge of the highway in one of the most haunted places in the world, Sleepy Hollow, New York, because this is the site of the original Headless Horseman Bridge from the legend of Sleepy Hollow. Though the bridge no longer stands, and there's no scientific method to quantify exactly how haunted something is, you can still feel a sense of magic and foreboding, standing on the overpass and gazing into the wilderness where Ichabod Crane once rode for his life, pursued by the Headless Horseman. The citizens of Sleepy Hollow grew tired of tourists always asking them, "Hey, where's the bridge?" So they constructed another one, and now they can say, "Hey, it's right over there. Can't you see it? It looks exactly like you'd expect it to." This tiny village on the Hudson River is dominated by another fixture that inspired the famous story, Sleepy Hollow Cemetery. Founded in 1849, over 90 acres of tombstones and mausoleums are nestled in the woods here along the Pocantico River. There are many famous burials here. For instance, this humble Celtic cross belongs to Captain of Industry and philanthropist Andrew Carnegie and his wife Louise Whitfield. Carnegie wrote The Gospel of Wealth, a book that professed the new upper class was morally obligated to donate their fortunes to the betterment of society. In 1901, at the age of 66, he sold his company U.S. Steel to J.P. Morgan and became the wealthiest man in America. He spent the rest of his life trying to figure out how to give away all that money, and despite his best efforts, still died rich. William Rockefeller, co-founder of Standard Oil, seemed to be a decent enough guy too. But instead of taking Carnegie's advice, he saved up for an elaborate Egyptian-themed tomb instead. He's buried here with his wife, family members, their prized worldly possessions, and probably a bunch of mummified cats. Who says you can't take it with you? Not William Rockefeller. This fancy headstone belongs to the fertilizer baron Edwin Lister. It features his bust and a statue of a perpetually mournful woman. It is one of the most beautiful and detailed graves on the premises, and you know what that means. He wasn't quite rich enough to buy himself a mausoleum as nice as William Rockefeller's. The monument behind me is a constant reminder that you should always wear clothes, let alone a hard hat, when you're working with metal. Also buried in Sleepy Hollow Cemetery is Washington Irving, author of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Despite offensive overuses of the words rustic and peradventure, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow is a brilliant early American short story. It recounts the tale of Ichabod Crane, a superstitious schoolteacher who hails from Connecticut, and his encounter with the spirit of a Hessian mercenary who was decapitated by cannon fire during the Revolutionary War. After listening to local ghost stories at a party hosted by the affluent farmer Baltus Van Tassel, Ichabod rode home late at night, taking a shortcut through the cemetery. There, he encountered the ghost of the Headless Horseman. He remembered the townsfolk believed the horseman could not cross a nearby bridge, so he rode at breakneck speed to make his escape. Just as Ichabod reached the threshold, he looked back to see the horseman lifting what appeared to be a severed head. The specter hurled it at the terrified pedagogue. He saw a flash of light, and then the world went dark around him. Many people are familiar with the legend of Sleepy Hollow and the midnight ride of Ichabod Crane to defeat the British on Something Hill. But less people know about the second follow-up legend concerning Wilmington Pomegranate Cumberland, who found something shiny in a tree and got stuck in there. Several characters from the story are based on real people who are interred at the Old Dutch Church and Burial Ground adjacent to the cemetery. This is the grave of Eleanor Van Tassel, after whom Irving modeled Ichabod's romantic interest, Katrina Van Tassel. And this is Abraham Hartling, a local blacksmith who served as the inspiration for Brom Bones, a rowdy prankster and Ichabod's rival for Katrina's affections. You gotta have a love story, or it's just a bad script. And it is said that here, in this potter's field on the northeast grounds, is where the headless horseman himself is buried, without a marker among the indigents and outcasts of the village. He haunts the area searching for a new head to replace the one he lost during the Battle of White Plains in the Revolutionary War. One of the most notorious spirits of Sleepy Hollow has absolutely nothing to do with the legend itself. The Bronze Lady. When Union Army General Samuel Thomas died, his widow, Anne Augusta Porter, commissioned sculptor Andrew O'Connor Jr. to create a statue called Recueillement, or Grief if you don't speak French. When she saw the finished work, she told O'Connor that she had hoped for something a little happier. The tales surrounding the Bronze Lady are fantastic and inconsistent, true marks of a good ghost story. Some say, if you sit on her lap, she will weep tears of blood. Others, that if you disrespect the statue by slapping or abusing it, you will be cursed for life. And if you approach the general's mausoleum to knock on the door or peer through the keyhole, terrifying dreams will visit you that night. But what I can't get over is how no one is talking about how big her hands are. Seriously, these things are huge. I'll bet the Bronze Lady could palm a regulation NBA basketball. O'Connor's mistress and muse, Jessie Phoebe Brown, modeled for this work and others, which means there's a bunch of big-handed lady statues out there creeping on people. Now that's scary. Old Dutch Burial Ground is also the final resting place of the Rosetta Stone. Hi, I'm Paulie Stags. Thanks for watching this video. Subscribe for more comedy, music, and fake nature documentaries. And if you enjoyed it, hit that like button and leave us a comment. And by us, I mean me. Leave me a comment.